Alrighty, welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. My name is Reroll Zero, and I'll be your host for this podcast. Um, and two things I wanted to get going before we start the stream. Is that the one? Nope. Okay, I think this is one. If you haven't already, I'd like you to take a look at my image. Just look at Shin the Legend. Shin the Legend has helped me out a lot recently, and he's always here as one of my moderators. So if you haven't already, give him a follow. He's a terrific guy, or he's a terrific streamer, and he I know he has a bit but he streams often. But for right now, it's kind of up in the air. But at the very least, try and give him a follow or try and watch when he streams. He's a pretty solid streamer, so I wouldn't lie or anything like that. So, but yeah, if you get a chance, follow Shin the Legends. He's a good streamer. So, alrighty then. For the subject today, I'll think. Gosh, what's it called? What should I do? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Um, I'd like to talk about that today for Edgy Superheroes and right. Going on about Edgy Superheroes is kind of like who's the most ridiculous with this picture and going up. And I don't know, it was really difficult to try and find somebody that was like edgy in the DC continuity. But here we are. I was trying to find who was who could have been the most edgiest. I I honestly think it's Wild Dog. Wild Dog is like a not a pastiche, but like a lamer Punisher, basically, more or less. He was kind of like from what I remember, he was just like early comics, he was just like a generic white guy, but then they repurposed him in the Arrowverse as 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 a Latino guy, and and that was a much better direction for him because he didn't have his he lost um gosh, I can't think of the word. He lost the uh right to be her father or whatever, and then or through social service or whatever, and then they have to regain that right back. So in general, it's a better like role reversal. It's a better like plot wise to go about, for the build, or for, I guess, better character development. And again, it's like I swear DC, or at least the DC TV shows, does this so many times where it's like they want to have some ridiculous old character back, right? But was that ridiculous old character cool to begin with, or are they just like, just because of, I guess, reasons in air quotes? Because gosh, it's like, I think, oh gosh, I think it was the previous crossover episodes, right? Where they had a dude called Psycho Pirate or whatever, and Psycho Pirate was like, I tried researching him, and he's probably one of the lamest supervillains I ever did see. The fact that like he's red and has like gold like face mask, it's really weird, and I don't understand what's up with it. Why is his name Psycho Pirate? Why, it's, I think, it just in the early Days of DC, they were probably just going with naming conventions and naming it for, because it sounded cool, or he was just the villain of the week or whatever. So, but again, so yeah, they resurrected in the Arrow TV universe or whatever. They resurrected a guy named Psycho Pirate for the crossovers, and then they brought back Wild Dog, and then I swear it's like they also brought back several other characters, but then they didn't do anything with them. Like I think what's his name? He's in a couple of Justice League episodes. I think his name is Mad Dog, right? Yeah, or Wildcat, Wildcat, right? And or Mad Cat. I don't remember. It's like but they brought him in, but they didn't do anything else with him, or they just named his gym or whatever. So that's another thing. But yeah, the DC TV universe loves to do that, and it's just weird. It's just awkward. It may or may not be the reasoning of how or why Swamp Thing apparently did so bad, or I don't know why they canceled it because it was a digital, it was a digital only streaming service, so I can't tell. Anyway, gosh, what's it called? They they continue to do so, you know, resurrecting a lot of old characters that may or may not be cool. And even though they, hey, what's up, Shin? And thank you for hosting. Um, anyway, what was I gonna say? Uh, gosh, oh, I think I was gonna say, I don't know why they canceled Swamp Thing one episode in without, any total, fan, uh, you know, fan, gosh, I can't even think of the word. Um, or do like fans or normal viewership negative reception of it, which yeah, I don't know why they canceled it so early. Um, but continuing off of Arrow, they have so many like things that they just have for one-offs. Like again, like with Katana's there for like 2-3 episodes, and then like she's just gone. So and then and then but I will assure you, Katana is cool. So they just they haven't she hasn't had a all she had has or she has had a solo comic, but again it was apparently it's written poorly. So or it might be written poorly. I don't know. I haven't read it, so it could be good. Um, but anyway, I was sorry. Continuing off of the next one, I'll bring up. I'll say I couldn't tell right there because I think it was I blocked the screen with the follower bar, uh but I think I put the Metalman there, and I don't remember too much about the Metalman, but I don't know. I I think I just don't like them in general. They may be edgy. I'm sorry. I was kind of putting up images at random almost because it was literally like it was difficult to find, edgy DC characters except for Lobo. He's built on edgy. If you even kind of look in the middle of the image I put there for the paragraph on Wikipedia, they say he's even based off the Punisher, Cable, and Wolverine. So he's edgy max or edgy plus. So he was designed to be a parody, but then people were like, okay, sure, why not? And then they kind of dropped the parodic parody aspect of the character. So, you know, that's perfectly fine. So, um, I could. The funny thing is, um, another one that I kind of put there as well is Arm Fall Off Boy, because I think that's kind of edgy in a sense too, because um I don't know, just the fact that somebody would beat people with their own arm just sounds really goofy to me, or just sounds kind of edgy. Um I couldn't put a requisite image there because I didn't have enough space, or even though like, oh right, that's the other picture, because I was confused. Because like I kept on thinking, going like, who's the most edgiest, and then I consistently go to Green Lantern. I think Green Lantern is Green. I think the Green Lantern powers are cool, right? But they never make them look cool. You know what I'm saying? Like apparently the only limit is your imagination with Green Lantern's powers or whatever. And honestly, that just seems goofy that the whole time, Hal Jordan or Guy Gardner, which is the two people in the next image, or next to Simon Baz, which again, it's probably messed up why Simon Baz has a gun. Like why, like they just drew him that way, and it just doesn't make sense. And but yeah, again, that's also an insanely creepy picture of Guy Gardner. Like I don't like, again, most of the Green Lantern characters, but like you could not make him look creepy. That would be a good start. Anyway, with Hal Jordan and a pretty much Guy Gardner, but they make, even though I think this is more a shared opinion from the fan base, or anti fan base as it were, but I kind of am there where it's like they don't make cool weapons or things to fight with or whatever. Like I think it's like in one of the DC movies or whatever, they have like I think Hal Jordan makes this giant vacuuming robot that like takes the Manhunters or whatever, or maybe that was a Justice League Unlimited episode. I don't know, but it seemed really goofy, and it just didn't like work. Um. Anyway, I mean, besides kind of shitting on both of those two, I'm gonna go to Simon Baz, which again, I feel like they're so uncomfortable, making at least in the Green Lanterns, writing staff at DC or whatever. I feel like they're so uncomfortable making a black character, because also he's not just he's Arabic and Lebanese or whatever, from Lebanon, and I'm going like, well, that's just awkward. And then they keep on piling on more stuff by having him, be a Muslim as well. Which again, I'm confused because I don't know why. If they ever, if they wanted to beat somebody to the punch, like Kamala Khan came out 2 years later from Marvel, but at the same time, it's just really awkward, and I don't understand why, you know, why they're so ham-fisted about starting these characters. I mean, granted, Simon Baz is still a relatively new character, so they could do stuff in time to fix him or fix his origin. I know Cyborg is, gosh, like Cyborg used to be one of my favorite characters, and I think in DC he still kind of is. But I think he has the dumbest origin story. He has like, his origin story is like, oh, his mother and father were experimenting on him, and one day a portal from another dimension opens up, eats like half of Victor or whatever, and then his father like just repairs him or whatever, and that's just the stupidest thing I have ever heard for an origin story. I mean, like, I want to write a book where it says, where it's like the history of dumb comic book origins. Like, Cyborg story I think would be either number one or up there, or and probably Arm Fall Off Boy would be one of them. But which I'm so annoyed that Arm Fall Off Boy is actually going to be in a movie because um the Suicide Squad movie wants him to be in there, and I feel like he might be the villain because people don't take him seriously. So he's gonna be like, oh, uh, I'll I'll be better than you can type of thing. So that's what I feel like is gonna be the whole um story or movie. Well, that's what it's about anyway. But anyway, continuing on from Simon Bass, which again I think it's ridiculous that they illustrated him with a gun for the most part. I'm gonna go on the Constantine. I think Constantine's really goofy and ridiculous because again, like I think DC already has its, or after before Doctor Strange or Marvel, DC already has its mass or mastic magic mystical guy, Doctor Fate or whatever. So Doctor Fate and Doctor Strange are similar. Hawkeye and Green Arrow are similar. So they already have that. I don't understand John Constantine. I forgot to put on there for the picture either I think Etrigan the Demon or the Question, but I don't think they're edgy enough. I think they're just kind of in the category of weirdos that don't um that they're interesting, kind of like they're interesting lite, but that's about it. They kind of come off as weird but not weird enough. That's I think that's probably the funniest thing. But yeah, it's like I don't understand the presence of John Constantine because again, he's just they already have the Doctor Strange thing, so I don't know why Doctor John Constantine exists. I don't know if he's an older character or he's relatively new, but he comes off as edgy because again, like he has a cigarette, he has a trench coat. He could just be more or less a spot on guy for Gambit if you really think about it. And he has a tie, I guess, to complete his ensemble. But again, he just seems like a really ridiculous character. So, who did I put next? I gotta see. Sorry, I can't see from my phone, so it's hard to tell. I put Deadman up there. Deadman, I think, is what's it called? I don't know if I would consider Deadman either edgy or not, but it's also at the same time it's like he's already dead, so like what, like he's got that like, well, it's kind of hard to explain. I think I just put it there that Deadman is kind of goofy because again, like how many plots in the DC or universe are like mystical slash magical, right? And I think it's like I don't know what the deal with Deadman is. I think again, like I put him there because again, like it's really hard or difficult to find edgy characters, and that doesn't mean DC is better or worse for not writing characters that are edgy. They're not restrained because again they made some anyway, like Lobo, or in another case Wild Dog. But again, like regardless of whether or not they helped or hurt the problem, they still created characters like that. And again, Lobo is the next thing. Lobo is just he's a combination of basically like Ghost Rider, and I should have said that the other time. I kind of think Ghost Rider is kind of edgy too. Or Ghost Rider is at least edgy light. He's not. Well, never mind. Ghost Rider's edgy enough that I forgot in the Marvel one I should have said, but yeah. So Globo's half half Ghost Rider, half Punisher, and yeah, half Deadpool slash Wolverine, as I mentioned before, because he has some type of regenerating factor, which is just really goofy, and I don't know why that's a thing. Um, but yeah, so Lobo is, I would probably say, the most edgiest of the DC characters. I don't know if he considered a superhero. Again, he's kind of in that Deadpool range where it's like he's kind of neutral for the most part. Um, but yeah, Lobo is probably the most edgiest, I would say, out of the DC universe. Um, right, I did put Jonah Hex next, and I was thinking that with Jonah Hex, I don't think, or he's probably edgy, or he's edgy, but like also they added other goofy accoutrements like his sagging face and other things. Like he doesn't need, like he's just a cowboy. He doesn't need other like things to solidify him as a hero or not. He just let it be and just let the stuff speak for itself. You don't have to add like other ridiculous stuff to the character to make them seem more or less entertaining, which kind of comes up next to Red Hood and Spoiler, because, but I mean, again, Red Hood, Jason Todd, he died originally because, again, unfortunately, the fans, or they wanted him to die. And so when Jason Todd came back as Red Hood, um, it wasn't exactly shocking. I'd say it's kind of more goofy because, again, regardless of whether anybody lives or dies in Batman or Gotham Land or whatever, they'll just come back with the Lazarus Pit, and that's what's happened with Red Hood. And even so, when he died, he, like, it's another the same thing with Guy Superheroes. They came back, and either they're same status or even better than they once were. So, which is even awkward because, again, like, he like Red Hood apparently like time travels now and like does other types of stuff. I only learned this from reading Batman Eternal. So, um, but yeah, or Batman and Robin Eternal. It's just really Red Hood is probably goofy. He's getting to the point where he's like Deadpool status, where he's, I think, um, the team's jokester or whatever. So it's just weird. I don't understand it. Same thing with Spoiler. Spoiler is or that Batgirl slash she's been Robin and Batgirl or whatever, but I think they struggle to make her seem individualized because they put so much stuff to go with her character. Same thing with that picture right there, is that they have the 3-section staff, and again, they probably just don't know what to do with her, so that's why they gave her that. So and I almost forgot. And are they both edgy? I think Red Hood is considerably. I think Spoiler is, in the sense that they don't know what to do with her, so they give her all sorts of crazy stuff to make her a more unique slash interesting character. But at the same time, I don't think they know what to do with her. And the last for the edgy characters, at least in the DC, or at least for Detective Comics or whatever, is Eradicator. Eradicator is, again, one of the other people that came around during the death of Superman. And I had conflicting stories from trying to research it. It was, half was, gosh, um, some say it was like some sort of alien device, and like that formed sunglasses, and that's why and it joined with a human being, and that's why it's their Eradicator or whatever. They have glasses like Cyclops over here, so it's really goofy, and I I kind of almost I kind of consider that edgy because it's just like it made some standard guy a Kryptonian or a superhero or whatever. So it's in the pantheon of DC edginess, it would be Lobo at the you know for the top of the pyramid, and then Eradicator would probably be somewhere at the bottom slash middle area. Probably Spoiler would be 5, and then Red Hood would be like 7, and then Wild Dog would probably be 8 on the edginess scale, and then I think Deadman would be 1 slash the Metal Man because I don't know why, or if I was struggling because again it's really it's hard to categorize this, um, but also because again I couldn't find anything discerning them to be edgy, but again like their powers, their idea, their subset of like universe or whatever, just kind of like it kind of it I would say almost edgy, um, but I would say John Constantine would be a 9 based on persona alone because again he's just another Doctor Fate. There's not too much separating him from being Fate. So um, I honestly would say probably both Green Lanterns, um, Hal and Guy Gardner would be I think share the same spot as Lobo because um they're just they're just they're just Green Lanterns, and they have problems. Green Lanterns have problems. For Simon Baz at the very least, again, because I think they can salvage his character immensely. I think he's one where he's not very edgy. Just that picture makes him seem edgy, so that's a 2 for the picture. But by himself, he's just a 1. He's not terribly edgy, which is good because he seems like a decent character. Um, then with Jonah Hex, I would say I'd probably say a 4 because again he's just a standard cowboy, and the only thing that's edgy about him is his drooping face. So and then I forgot the very tiny text arm fall off boy. Um, Powers a name, and I think that's just a 3 because he's goofy and lame. So it's like the um, it's like he's not as bad as like the reality morphing guys that come from Batman and Superman, Mr. Mixelplix or Batmite or something like that. So he's not as in league as annoying or something, or he might be annoying. I don't know. Actually, never mind. Arm Fall Off plays in category his own of do not touch, do not open, whatever, and just leave it at that. So I think it's probably a good time to call it for the stream. Thank you for sitting in, Shin. And before I go, again, I would like to, whoops. If you have a chance, go check out Shin the Legend. It's he's a good guy, and thanks, Shin. Catch you later. And he's a good guy, and he's a good streamer, and he's still kind of getting stuff set up. So whenever he's kind of trying the stream, checking out, he's cool. So thank you for watching. Crap, I forgot. Do I want to do the affirmation again? Yeah, it's probably a good idea to close it out with the positive affirmation. Okay, what could be a good one besides having something to look forward to? I'd probably say a good idea is besides having somebody that, or having something to look forward to, try and talk to somebody, or send them a message and try and get a conversation going. Because, if you talk to somebody or talk on the phone, or, it may be impossible right now to meet with somebody in real life and have a good conversation with them, maintain social distance and all that. But, you know, have a conversation, or, have a conversation over FaceTime. It's really, I would imagine it would relieve stress, but at the very, at the same time, try and have a real conversation with somebody. Alrighty, thank you for watching, and this is Reroll Zero signing off.